Hi guys, welcome to Learn Kenyan Law with Wanjiku. I am your host, Wanjiku Mwangi, and again, remember this is the channel where you get to learn about legal matters. We're still continuing with the series of Kenya School of Law. If you have missed our previous episodes, we've introduced Kenya School of Law in our episode 1. We've also talked about how do you survive Kenya School of Law. We've also talked about how do you pass your orals and your projects in episode 3. We've also talked about how do you ensure that you pass your exams, how do you find pupillage in an easier way. And now we're talking about how is it advisable for you to either have a physical class or an online class. But before we delve into this topic, let our co-host introduce himself. Karibu sana.
Okay, thank you. I'm weekly for co-host landlord Wanjiku, and also a student at Kenya School of Law, doing advocate program training, and also a lover of podcast. So welcome.
Great. Asante sana, Wycliffe. And I like the fact that you're doing this topic on this podcast today, especially when you're going through it. So let's dive into it. Is it advisable for me to do my KSL online, or is it advisable to do it physically? And rather, what are the advantages and the do's and don'ts when it comes to that?
So thank you. So this I'll just give my disclaimer. I'll be based on my observation
Yes.
on what I've seen.
Yeah.
And plus also talking with my colleague who have done online, and those of us who have done physical into it. So first of all, allow me to talk about in Kenya School of Law. Recently, there's been online classes and physical classes. So let me start with physical classes. So physical classes mainly they are how do you call it? We have morning and afternoon classes. Morning start from 9 to 1. Then we have 2 to 6 evening classes, afternoon classes even. So let's say each class will have 2 lessons, So those in the morning from 9 to 11, one lesson. From 11 to 1, another lesson. Those are 2. This is the same way when it comes to afternoon classes. From 2 to 4, one other class. 4 to 6, another class. So typically, what is the advantage of doing physical classes? So it's really important because physical classes it really helps you to connect first of all, because here comes different people from different institutions, from different universities. So it's an avenue for you to connect with people. It gives you that avenue, because I've heard most people have found their partners, not love partners in legal professions.
Okay, yeah.
In what do you call it? Exactly, because you build friendship over there.
Yes.
Exactly. So it's a good way for you to connect. It's a good way for you to brand yourself and everything. So physical classes give you that avenue of you being yourself and also connecting with people, which is really, really important, because these are people in the next let's say 1 year you'll be meeting. Let's say that some of them will be judges, some of them will be legal officers somewhere, some of them will be practicing and everything. So that avenue itself gives you an avenue of connection. Because this that's a legal profession. It gives you an avenue of you connecting with other people, which is really, really, really fundamental when it comes to physical classes. Then the other important of physical classes is really because it keeps you on your toes, because you really have to wake up so early if you're in morning classes, if you're in classes. So there's that versatility over it. So it also gives you interaction to meet people in persons. And also, what do you call it? Physical classes are mainly active, because you'll be doing actual presentation, you'll be meeting. There's issue of mooting around. There's also, what do you call it? There's a lot of interactive stuff which comes by physical classes. So it's really, really important. So then online classes mainly, let's say, what I observe, these are people who are mainly working. Exactly. Let's say maybe you're working a law firm. Let's say you're working any other wells. Exactly. Yeah. So physical classes can really be impactful. Let's say to people who, let's say you're still having a family to feed. Maybe you're the one who pays for your own school fees and everything. Most of my colleagues, that's what used to happen to them. So they could not come to physical because they still have to look for money to pay and everything. So exactly. So physical mainly is so versatile to that. Let's say you also have your job, you don't want to leave. Let's say you have your own businesses to do and everything. So online classes gives you that versatility for you to do your own stuff. but it can be challenging because one thing there is no human interaction as long we are humans, but with COVID it taught us a different perspective. But what I can say is nothing stops you from coming to school. Even if you're online even if you're a member of online classes, nothing gives you nothing stops you from coming to school. Let's say in a week, maybe it's good, you can come to in school, enter to any class, Mutula Hall, Old Hall, exactly, something like that, and just listen. So that gives you an avenue for you to know, the people, to know the teachers in person, because most of the time these are teachers, you interact with them via online platform.
Yeah.
So it gives you an avenue for you to keep it gives you an avenue to keep a name into the face. It's really cool. Then the other thing I can say when it comes to online classes, you can also strike friendship with people in physical classes. This can also help you because it can also help you to know more about the teacher, to know more about the people, for connection and everything.
Yes, networking.
Exactly, yeah.
So I feel like you've already told us the advantages of online classes and the advantages of physical classes. And you've also mentioned the fact that if you're working, it would be better for you to have online classes.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about careers. After you've done your orals, you've done your exams, you've done your projects, you've done your pupillage, and now you are asking yourself, career-wise, what doors does ATP open for me?
Okay, because we have had a lot of career talks back in Kenya School of Law, so I'll talk from that avenue, and from what I've seen from my senior, people who have gone before me.
Yes.
Who have done KSL before me. So first of all, the first thing that KSL gives you if you pass is it gives you an avenue of you being an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. That title is big itself.
Yes.
Exactly. So what are the career opportunities? You can open a law firm, you can become you can choose to go to private practice. That means you can open your own law firm. You can also choose to go to government practices. You can work in the office of the AG. You can work in the office of the DPP as a prosecutor. You can also work as a judge. Exactly. You can also work in tribunals, something like that. You can also work in consultancy. So there's a lot you can do when it comes to because one thing with law degree, it gives you a lot with the ATP certification, being admitted, it gives you a lot of doors. And what it does, because one thing in law we have area of interest, so you need to know which suits you, because you can someone said lawyers are jack of all trade, but you also have area of interest.
Yeah.
So you need to know, are you good in litigation? Are you good in drafting? Are you good in consultancy? Are you good in management? So you need to know what works for you. Are you good in research? Maybe which field of law are you good in?
Yes.
Exactly. Is it commercial? And a commercial, is it ADR? So there's a lot of all this stuff which is really important. And I think the best way I can say, it opens door for you. It doesn't limit for you want to be, because it can also become an academia. There's some lecturers who have done advocate program, practicing, still teaching. Exactly. So there's a lot. So what you're mostly told is you can touch an area of law which is new, which is unique, or which, even if it's new, you have an interest into it, because there is always there is always an impact that lawyers make society, because through legal aid, legal awareness, through you being an evidence into that. And one of our lecturer, Mr. Mbogo, and also Mr. Akimani, the lecturers who teaches us back in the School of Law, he said that in terms of in the next 10 years, people need to know for you for something. Exactly. So you need to look for an area of interest that that thrills you. So at least maybe in the next 10 years, when you talk about issues of issue of journalism, music, copyright, issue of let's say human right movement, advocacy, we talk about Wanjiku, about you. If you talk about issue of ADRs, blue economy, we talk about Wycliffe. Exactly. If you talk about issue of let's say constitutional petition, issues of bankruptcy, issue of media law, issue of maritime security, we know we can talk about you. So then have that a career, have that plan itself exactly, because when it comes to law itself is vague, but we just need to take a leap of faith and just go for it. It won't be easy. As a person I'm talking about, I haven't achieved a lot,
Yeah,
but we're heading over there.
Yes.
And I have interest in, like what we are doing over here is issue of podcasting in terms of law. It's a thing we're passionate about.
True.
We know in coming years it will be so fundamental. It will be so an avenue of us maybe branding ourselves, issue of reaching our client and everything.
Yeah,
So you just
awareness.
need to know what thrills you, invest into it, and give it your best. And maybe in 10 years time, 5 years time, who knows, you'll be the guru in that area.
Great. Thank you so much, Weekly, for sharing your insights around this topic. And guys, again, I am sure by this point, most of your KSL questions have been answered. But in case you still have questions about it and you feel like there's something that we need to address, feel free to, write a message to us. And we will gladly respond to it. So for now, that is going to be it. Catch us on our next episode as we talk about the fact that if you're not eligible to join KSL, yet you've done your diploma in law and you've also done your bachelor's, but because you did not get a mean grade of a C+, you cannot get into KSL, or because you did not have a B in either of the subjects, English or Swahili, you cannot get into KSL. Which path can you take? Join us next time when we discuss about it. Thank you.